Welcome to Weddings in the Mountains with Pastor Jody Secor as your host. This is your go-to podcast for all things romantic and enchanting in the Great Smoky Mountains. Whether you're dreaming of a cozy, intimate elopement or a grand, breathtaking ceremony with a mountain view, we are here to guide you through the best venues, vendors, and secrets of wedding planning in East Tennessee. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's explore the magic that awaits amidst the misty peaks. Remember, the Great Smoky Mountains are not just a backdrop, they're a part of your love story. Thank you for tuning in to Weddings in the Mountains. We hope you're feeling inspired and excited for your journey to saying I do in the heart of the mountains. Now here is the next exciting episode.
Well, hello and welcome to Weddings in the Mountains. Now, this episode today is brought to you by the Smoky Mountain Wedding Directory. Are you planning a wedding in the Great Smoky Mountains? Well, don't guess your vendors. The Smoky Mountain Wedding Directory connects you with trusted local venues, photographers, officiants, and so much more, all in one place. So visit SmokyMountainWeddingDirectory.com and plan your mountain wedding with confidence. Well, hello and welcome to this podcast of Weddings in the Mountains. I am Pastor Jody Secor, also known in these parts as the Mountain Preacher, and I am glad you are with us. One of the most often asked questions I get when talking with couples is, what is legally required to get married in the Smokies? Well, today I am going to answer that with this episode that is titled, Getting Married in the Smokies, the Legal Checklist. Now, at the end of this episode, all your questions and then some should be answered. If not, reach out to me and I will get you the answers. Now, if you're planning a wedding or elopement in the Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, inside the national park, well, this episode is your don't mess it up checklist. Because, hey, this is what can happen. You drive in from out of state. You've got the photographer booked. The cabin is paid for. Everybody, of course, is excited. And then you realize that you have brought the wrong documents, that the office is closed, or your officiant isn't actually authorized, and you didn't get the permit for the national park. So today, I am going to walk you through the exact legal steps for getting married in the Smokies. On the Tennessee side of the mountains, plus the extra requirements if you are getting married inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I'm going to heavily reference the Sevier County Clerk's Office, as this is the county that I live in. And although all Tennessee counties operate virtually pretty much the same. Anyhow, I do want to let you know that I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. I want you to think of it as a practical guide. And always confirm details with the Tennessee County Clerk's Office that you are obtaining your license from, or the National Park if you're getting married in there. So let's begin with what legal marriage means, in plain English. Well, let's start super simple. A legal marriage in Tennessee usually has three moving parts. A marriage license that is issued by a county clerk, a ceremony that is performed by someone who is authorized to solemnize marriages, and the signed license is returned to the issuing clerk so that the marriage can be recorded. And that's simply it. Now the scenery, it can be a mountain overlook, it can be a chapel, but legally, those three pieces matter. So let's begin to talk with getting your Tennessee marriage license. Step 1. Where do you get it? Well, in Tennessee, you can get your license from any county clerk and use it in the state. But if you're planning in Sevier County, it is easiest just to get it through the Sevier County Clerk. And yes, both of you typically need to appear together, as you both will be required to sign for them before leaving the courthouse. Now, Sevier County Clerk offers multiple locations with specific days and hours, and those details can be found on my website, mountainpreacher.com, under the License tab. Anyhow, Sevierville, the main courthouse, it is basically your weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Gatlinburg office, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 4:30, and on occasion they will do some Saturday hours. The Pigeon Forge office is Saturday only, and keep in mind it's essentially just Saturday morning from 9 to 1. Now, of course, there can be some seasonal variance in that as well. But before you build your whole wedding day around, well, we'll just grab the license real quick, double check the hours and the holiday closures. There is a map or a picture on my website that gives the 2026 holiday closures. So, what do you need to bring? Well, now Sevier County's posted requirements, pretty straightforward. Both applicants, of course, must be 18. Both applicants must be present. And you must bring a valid photo ID, like a driver's license, state ID, military ID, or passport. Bring your Social Security card, or at a minimum, you must know the number. If you are a non-U.S. citizen, Sevier County notes that a valid passport is the required documentation. Also, if either of you has been divorced or widowed, you will need the exact date that the divorce was finalized or the date of the death. And there are specific notes about name changes and certified divorce decrees. Again, talk with the county clerk to make sure you've got the correct things. So how long is the license valid? Well, in Sevier County, the license must be used within 30 days of being issued. And Sevier County explicitly notes that you can use it the same day that you do get it, because there is no waiting period. There are no blood tests required. How much does it cost? Well, Sevier County, now this is great because out-of-state residents, it's $41 cash. Of course, if you use a card, they're going to tack on a little extra for a processing fee. And if you are a Tennessee resident, well, it's going to be $101 cash. And again, with a card, there will be a little extra fee. And if you are a Tennessee resident, well, you can get a potential discount. You can get a $60 waiver if you do complete a 4-hour premarital course and present a notarized certificate of completion. And yes, I can provide that if you need it. I can help you with that. Now, even if you're not Tennessee residents, my biggest advice is to treat the license appointment like airport rules. Bring everything. Bring more than you think you need. Don't gamble. Moving on to step 2. Who can officiate in Tennessee? And a big mistake to avoid. Well, a lot of couples assume that anybody can marry us if they're ordained online. Now in Tennessee, that can get a little complicated. Tennessee law lists categories of people who can solemnize a marriage, like certain clergy or judges, many elected officials, and also notary public. Yes, notaries are on the list. Now there is also an important detail highlighted in the official Tennessee County guidance for ministers and religious leaders. See, ordination has to be done in a way that fits the customs of a legitimate religious organization, as described in a considered, deliberate, responsible act. And Tennessee guidance has repeatedly warned that instant online ordinations may not qualify. In fact, I have seen firsthand where now attorneys will challenge an officiant's credentials to prove that the couple was not legally married. So this way they don't have to divide the assets or maybe pay alimony. It sometimes even comes down to child support. So folks, this is an area that you do not want to gamble with. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to save your wedding day. My opinion is you need to come here and have a great experience. And that's what I hope all my couples leave here with, is an amazing memory and experience. So here are the safe routes. Use an officiant who is clearly authorized in Tennessee, like maybe an experienced local officiant who does this regularly in the Smokies. And yes, I am one of those. Or a notary who knows the process. A member of clergy with a recognized ordination pathway. Judge or qualifying official. And here's what you should do before the ceremony. Ask your officiant, are you authorized to solemnize marriages in Tennessee? And yes, I am. And confirm that they will sign the license correctly, that they will complete all the required fields and return it promptly to the courthouse that issued it. I can tell you honestly, as the mountain preacher, that I cover all these bases and I am fully legal and solid in this area. So, let's talk about the ceremony, the license, signing the license correctly. Here is what people don't realize. The ceremony, it can be simple. Just a simple exchange of consent and vows. But the legal part is the license execution, and it must be completed correctly. Also, Tennessee does not require witnesses for the ceremony in the way that some states do. So, listen, your officiant is the key in this. Side note, if you're getting married on the North Carolina side of the mountain, Well, you do still need 2 witnesses over there. Yes, I've done ceremonies in North Carolina as well. However, this makes it a good reason to get married here in Tennessee. Because listen, we keep it simple. So listen, after the ceremony, don't let the license float around in somebody's camera bag or get left on the cabin counter. Make sure you assign one person, maybe the officiant, maybe a planner, to be the license captain. Because that sheet of paper, it's the legal backbone of your entire day. In fact, usually after a ceremony, I will take the license with me and complete them and return them to the courthouse for you. So that way you don't have to worry about it. Now, Sevier County specifically states, that an officiant is required to return the signed documents within 3 business days after the marriage, after the ceremony. And of course, Sevier County even notes black ink only. Now, after the signed documents are returned, here's what happens. Sevier County automatically mails the couple a certified marriage certificate. Now, typically, you need to allow 2 to 3 weeks after the ceremony for this to arrive. Now, do keep in mind, however, that for some reason you need your final documents right away. Well, we can make that happen. Just ask me how. Anyhow, Sevier County also states that they do not provide ceremonies at the clerk's office, civil or otherwise. So don't plan on we'll just do it at the courthouse unless you've already arranged a lawful officiant separately to meet you there. Now, getting married inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Let's talk about what changes when you're getting married inside the national park, because this is where a lot of couples get tripped up. Because the marriage license is a Tennessee thing, but you see the park has its own rules because it's federal land. So the first thing that you're going to need is what is called a special use permit. The National Park Service states that weddings, vow renewals, elopements, commitment ceremonies, basically any ceremony like this in the park requires a special use permit. So let's talk about timeline and planning for this. Now, the park will accept applications up to 12 months in advance, but no later than 30 days before the event date. So you've got to plan a little bit on this. And the permit must be with you during the event. And I will tell you, this is something that I can easily obtain for you so that you don't have to figure out how to get this yourself. Again, let's keep it simple on your end. Let's not make life difficult. Now, the park permit does have a non-refundable $50 application fee for this permit. And there are some location rules and limits. Now, the park does require you to choose from designated wedding locations. And exceptions, not generally granted. And in these locations, they do list some capacity limits. For example, outdoor locations, up to 25 people, 1 hour and 6 vehicles. The historic churches, like out in Cades Cove, there you can have up to 50 people. Typically, you get 1.5 hours and up to 8 vehicles. Now listen, when you're counting vehicles, make sure that you include your vendor, like the photographer, the officiant. Those vehicles do count. And also, I want to talk about a big misconception, that getting a permit means that you own the overlook or location for the next hour or hour and a half. The park clearly states permits generally do not grant exclusive use. The area is still open to the public, with a few exceptions for rental facilities like maybe Spence Cabin, for example. But otherwise, you can't run everybody off. It is a public location. And now the other thing that the park also notes, something that is very practical and important, that having a wedding permit does not exempt you from the parking tag requirement. Unless you have a handicap plate or hang tags, you are going to have a parking permit. Talking about decorations, prohibited items, if you're envisioning arches, big decor, confetti, candles, balloons, listen to this part carefully. The park lists many items and activities that's prohibited, including anything that creates an open flame, and items like confetti and similar materials. Definitely no smoke bombs or fireworks. Another big no-no are flower petals. Because you see, the park does not want any foreign plants or diseases brought into the park. So these are prohibited. Now here's the big takeaway. If you want a quiet, simple, beautiful ceremony with minimal setup, well then the national park is incredible. But if you want a fully decorated, private, exclusive event, well then the park itself is telling you that you need to consider venues outside the park. So, your Smokies legal checklist recap. All right, let's recap this all right quick. Step 1, get your Tennessee marriage license from the Sevier County Clerk or any Tennessee county. And when you do, make sure that you bring photo ID, social security card or number, passport if you're a non-U.S. citizen, and divorce or widow details if that is applicable. And remember, there is no blood test, there is no waiting period, and the license is good for 30 days from the day that you pick it up. Now make sure that you choose an officiant who is clearly authorized in Tennessee, and of course I recommend the mountain preacher, and make sure that the license is completed correctly and returned properly. And if you are getting married in the national park, well, make sure that you get your special use permit and that you get it applied for plenty time ahead. Remember, it's got to be applied for at least 30 days ahead of the event date. And make sure that you follow the location limits, the time limits, and the rules. And don't forget to plan for parking tag requirements. Keep it simple, low impact. Now, if you're planning your Smoky Mountain wedding and want a smooth, stress-free experience, well then listen, the best thing you can do is handle the checklist, the legal checklist early, and then enjoy the fun stuff. Now, if this episode helped you, I want you to share it with a friend who's planning a wedding or an elopement. And subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. We're going to be back with all kinds of great tips and tricks and things. We're even going to be interviewing some wedding vendors and venues so that you can see directly who they are and what they're like. So listen, I want to thank you for listening today, and congratulations in advance.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'll be back next week with more tips and stories for your perfect mountain wedding, and always with a touch of laughter and love. Until next time, may your hearts be as full as the Smoky Mountain skyline as you prepare your wedding in the mountains.